school.
You would take out loans to go to school because you don't have a lot of money. You said the FAFSA, right, is the way you could get out of that. It gives you a ton of federal aid, but the federal aid it gives you is subsidized loans.
It's not just subsidized loans.
It's not just, but it's a majority of that, isn't it?
Well, a lot of it will be Pell Grants. A lot of it could also be subsidized loans as well.
Didn't ask you what a lot of it was. Come on.
What?
Didn't ask you what a lot of it was. I asked you the majority of the loans they give out are not going to be in Pell Grants, right?
Well, it depends on the type of school you go to. If you go out of state, probably not. If you go in state, possibly, depending on the tuition.
I'm asking you, when you fill out FAFSA, right? When you fill out that form, and student aid gives you money, the majority of the money they give out to people, do you think that's coming from Pell Grants or is it coming from loans?
The majority of the money given out is, in totality, is probably going to be subsidized loans.
Yeah, the vast majority of it. So filling out FAFSA to get like a free ride to college is just going to give you a loan, right? That's what FAFSA is going to do. Right, you can opt out of the loan and just get the Pell Grant.
Hold on. What is the point you're trying to make here? Are you trying to argue?
You are saying something crazy by saying that poor people taking out loans to go to school is strange.
If the central point was that she didn't seem to grasp the question at all, that was the confusing part of the question for her. Is if
the confusing part of the question is the implication. What?
No. The implication.
I don't grasp it either. Why would you being
you're probably from a rich family? That's fine. I understand.
You're dead wrong, dog. Wrong one for that one. My family. If you want to play the whose family is poorer game, you're playing it with the wrong one.
Okay, that's fine. But typically, if you fill out a FAFSA, especially if you do decently on tests, especially if you're like minority status or whatever, you should probably be going to school, if not for free, for very, 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 very low cost of attendance.
No, if you fill out the FAFSA, the maximum you could possibly fucking get in terms of Pell Grants from filling out the FAFSA will not be even close to encompassing even half of your tuition fees, let alone the overall cost of going to college.
Hold on. First of all, Pell Grants aren't the only thing that you get for aid.
I know. You also get subsidized loans from aids, yeah?
No. I'm pretty sure every single state has tuition types of grants, like literally free money, that are built into all these different programs. Like in California, there's a ton of programs that are available. In the particular states that she lived in, people email me stuff that there's a ton of.
In Rhode Island, if you're super, super poor and you're in Rhode Island and you fill out, or you're outside of Rhode Island going to a school in it, and you fill out the FAFSA, right? You fill it all out, you fill it out properly, and you get money from that. How do you think that if you're just sufficiently poor, that they're going to give from FAFSA alone, you're going to be able to pay for more than 50% of your college, not including the loan portion, like from just the non-loan stuff that FAFSA will give you.
Are you talking about cost of attendance or tuition?
I'm talking about cost of tuition overall, but if we want to talk about just tuition, we can, right? Even half of your tuition.
I don't know
what are your answers?
Cost of tuition overall means. I'm asking you, are you talking about cost of attendance, or are you talking about?
I just said cost of. I just told you what I'm talking about, right? I'll tell you again. Can I finish my sentence without you interrupting? You're not understanding because you're interrupting, right? Look, you're not understanding because you're interrupting, right? What I'm telling you is that either of those, either overall cost of going to college, including your room and board, including both the room and board that you pay for yourself when you're paying for your own housing and food, or in paying for things like transportation, you can do that. Or we can just look at purely the tuition cost, and you still won't be able to get more than half of it through things that FAFSA gives you as free money. Like, did you fill out the FAFSA?
I actually did. Okay,
you actually did fill out the FAFSA. Okay,
in Florida, your in-state tuition is $6,360.
You have to move away from that, okay.
So I'm looking up from 2024 to 2025. The maximum Pell Grant award is $7,400. This exceeds the total cost of in-state tuition. So can you explain what you mean when you say you couldn't even cover up to half?
The total cost of in-state, she wouldn't be doing in-state. She's from Connecticut. And I don't even think she's eligible for the NERSP either because she's journalism, right?
You jumped to a different thing.
A different thing? No, I didn't jump to a different thing. I just addressed the point directly, which is you think that for some fucking reason, you're going to get like enough free money out of FAFSA to pay for even half of your tuition, and you're just dead wrong.
Yeah, and I'm showing you that, first of all, it's like 80% of kids go to in-state schools. You're not typically going to an out-of-state school as a poor person. And when I look at the cost of tuition for most schools, I'm pretty sure, I think the Pell Grant will cover, I don't know if it's most states, but it'll cover almost all the tuition, or all the tuition, I think, in almost every state.
No, I have no idea where the fuck you get that from. But, dog, in the case of URI, even for in-state, you're not covering all the tuition. And she's not getting in-state. That's why I have no idea what you brought up in-state. It's irrelevant. Well, she's not going to get in-state for URI. We wouldn't be typically talking about,
in-state, I'm sorry, we typically wouldn't be talking about out-of-state tuition when we're talking about like students with huge financial needs or whatever. Because
that's insane. In terms of
less than
Why
so
do you
less than 20% of students even do out-of-state tuition?
Less than 20% of students even do out-of-state schooling. If you're in New England, that's a lot more common in particular. If you're in New England, it's way, way higher. Because of the fact that New England has things like the NERSP. I guess it was tuition break now in New England, right?
Wait, but if you've got the NERSP, that allows you to
She doesn't have the NERSP. She doesn't. She doesn't. I'm telling you, in New England, it's very common. A journalist wouldn't.
I understand that. But
I'm not sure you do. I'm glad you do now. But when you ask a question like,
if you're talking about,
none of this is confusing.
You're to be pedantic.
How am I being pedantic? You just said a stupid you said a stupid thing, and now you're trying to run away from it because you know damn well it's dumb. You asked if your family is poor, why would you have to take out loans to go to school? If you fill out the FAFSA, you're taking out loans in 90% of cases. 90 plus.
What do you think the overall point was when I wait, hold on.
The overall point when you asked that question was that you think that it's strange for poor people to take out loans to go to school. You think that's abnormal, don't you?
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Wait, I wasn't here. Okay. What do you think my overall point was?
That's the same thing holy shit, what's wrong with you? I said your point is...
I stepped away for a second. You're not even listening.
Okay, look, I heard what you said. You stepped away. I'm saying, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're like mid-conversation walking away. Do you have ADHD or something? If your family is poor, why would you have to take out loans to go to school? You asked that question because, like you said, you think it's strange for poor people to take out loans to go to school. You think it's abnormal. I'm asking you, do you actually think that's abnormal? Do you think most poor people don't take out loans to go to school?
Hold on, I'm trying to see if you, I don't know.
Hold on, it doesn't answer my question. Just answer it. You're the one being autistic. You just walked away mid-conversation.
In the course of that conversation, what am I asking when I say that?
You're asking if your family is poor, why would you have to take out loans to go to school? And the implication is it's strange for poor people to take out loans to go to school. What are you doing?
Okay, if that's what you think it is, you just didn't follow the conversation.
What was it really? What did you really mean?
The implication is that it doesn't make sense that she would have the level of debt that she did, given the fact that she came from a poor family, and should be able to qualify for grants of student aid to subsidize a lot of the cost of education there.
A lot of the cost or most of the cost?
I don't know what her exact financial status was, and I don't know what every single grant that could be offered by Rhode Island is. So I'd have to go and research that particular institution to find out.
Why are you jumping to the conclusion she's lying about it if you have no fucking clue? You're just completely...
Her story doesn't make sense. The idea that a person from a poor family would do an out-of-state school at max tuition for a degree that doesn't pay much is not conceivable to me. Poor people
it's not conceivable to you that a poor person could go to college for a dumb degree? Really? That's unconceivable?
Is that what I just said?
Yes.
What I just said?
Did you hear what you just said?
I said it doesn't make sense to me that a poor person would go to an out-of-state school for a dumb degree and not qualify for any financial aid.
When did we say she doesn't qualify for any financial aid? Where did that come from?
Well, because initially when I was asking her about filling out the FAFSA and everything, she was like, FAFSA, I don't know what that is.
No, she wasn't.
She literally said, I didn't have parents to help me fill it out.
Yeah, she didn't say she doesn't know what it is. In fact, right after she said that, she said she did fill out the FAFSA. In fact,
yes,
she got the dollar amount pretty close. She said she got about $8,000 from it, which seems pretty accurate to me, given that when I fill out the FAFSA, that's about how much I got from the Pell Grant.
That wasn't accurate to her time period at all, so I don't know why.
It was pretty accurate to her time period. I have no idea why you think that.
I literally wrote a whole Substack analyzing. I
saw your whole Substack. It's trash and it's dumb as fuck. Your argument there is pulling from what you assumed that she would get the maximum possible Pell Grant if she's poor. If you get the Pell Grant at all, according to studentaid.gov, they're trying specifically to target poor people. If you're getting it at all. If your family's making below $50,000 a year, given that she got a $35K in a settlement, which is taxable income, it's easy their family could have made that amount. Like right after she got out of high school, absolutely her family could have made more than $50K a year and been like very, very scarcely eligible for the Pell Grant at all. And in the case of the Pell Grant now, it's even larger than it was at the time. So I have no idea why you bring that up as an example.
In case of the Pell Grant now, it's larger than it. I don't even know what point you're trying to make.
What part of that was confusing to you? Are you just completely lost? Do I have to get a caretaker in here to help you through the conversation?
Are you Candace's bravest warrior?
Are you Candace's most retarded offense?
No, there's probably more retarded ones.
There probably are. That's fair. I don't know. Do you? If there's no more response you have for me, I can't tell if you're like talking to your audience or something. But you said some crazy stuff that I'm also kind of interested about AI. If you want to talk about that.
The issue is that it doesn't make sense.
Okay, you got a response now. Good.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that there are too many different things here that don't that can't all be mutually true. So it doesn't make sense that your family is so poor that you're talking about living in cockroach-infested apartments. Okay, but then you're also choosing to go to college out of state, okay, for a degree that doesn't pay much. Now, it's possible. It would be really stupid.
Going to URI out of state is a pretty good decision. It's a pretty good financial decision. She's probably making more money back. Even if she had took out $100K in loans, this is the point that I probably would have brought up, and hopefully in the future you'll point this out. $100K in loans, you're still going to be making a net positive if it's the case that you go to college. So it's still smart. It's still an overall, at least like a net positive decision. You can say the bad opportunity cost or something.
Out-of-state school.
UR is one of the best fucking schools in the country. What are you talking about?
You don't have to go to the best fucking school of the country.
If you want to make a lot of money in journalism, you probably should.
No, that's not how that works.
That's kind of how that works. If you go to better schools, you end up making more money, which is why it's okay to pay more for those. Yeah.
That's not always true. Okay.
Do you think I'm saying it's always true, or it's just generally true?
You just don't. You just don't have the background. Okay. The poverty tourism is cute.
The poverty tourism, dog. One of look. Saying you don't have the background when you dropped out of college in your first fucking year or something. I'm not sure that you don't have the background as an argument you can make here.
When you don't know me or Candace's college background, which is cute.
Oh, really? What's your college background? Did you finish?
I don't think a poor person. Okay, no, but neither did Candace. So apparently,
neither did Candace. Perfect. So saying you don't know enough about college or something, so you don't have the background to know enough about this is fucking insane.
I don't think a poor person is saying I need to go to the absolute most expensive, best school that I can for journalism to make the highest amount of money I can. I think that generally,
if you have a passion for journalism, she's going to be going for journalism not because it maximizes her income, but because that's a fulfilling career path she wants to go down.
Well, and if you want a fulfilling career path, then you can just do the in-state tuition. Then you can just do the in-state.
Why? How could she possibly do the in-state tuition for URI?
She would go to journalism in her own state.
What's the equivalent to URI level college that you would recommend going to for journalism in Connecticut?
It's journalism. Nobody fucking cares. It's journalism.
Nobody cares what degree you have whatsoever.
Are you retarded? Okay. What? Yes, you'll be. Not every single degree requires you to go to the most prestigious school in the world. This is the richest, whitest comment I've ever heard in my life. Like, oh God, I can't. If I don't go to UCLA, if I don't go to fucking
everything that you're saying is totally disconnected from what any poor person would ever have to deal with. It's fucking crazy that you're pulling this out on me, dog. If you say you were married at the time. Look, if you were married at the time that you went into school, dog, then you should have been able to apply and get the maximum Pell Grant. Why didn't you?
Why? I did get a fuck ton in aid. What do you mean?
Did you get the maximum Pell Grant?
I think so. If I didn't get the max, I got close to it.
You're not sure?
I don't remember. It was 20 years ago. I'm 35.
Really?
I'm not 17
fucking remembering in the moment is not condemnable? That's crazy, dog. Why is it condemnable when Candace does it?
Because she builds a whole recommendation off of how you should approach college based on her personal story.
Do you understand her argument is not that you absolutely must be...
Hold on, wait. I need
you are now moving away from the claim that she fucking lied to it's just an abnormal situation.
You acknowledge that there's a reason why I might care about Candace not remembering her background, but it might not be as important to me. Can you acknowledge that?
There's a reason you might possibly fucking care about Candace's background. That's what you want me to acknowledge? Of course there's a fucking reason you might possibly do it, dog.
Can you,
That's such a fucking weak claim. It's clearly not anything. I don't know why you're interrupting right now. You can spaz out in the middle of your sentence. It's not in the middle of mine. You can repeat the same question because you've been dodging every fucking single one of mine. And anybody who wants to watch the VOD can see that. Really? Almost everything? I think I've asked you the same question 90 times in a row and you still haven't answered it yet. The question I asked you that you still haven't fucking answered is just, do you actually fucking believe you can pay for the majority? And every single time I ask that question, you dodge and say, well, you could pay for some of it. You've never said yes to that fucking question once. You've dodged every single question I've asked you so far. You can roll back the VOD, watch it yourself. But if you want to tell me that the reason why I don't understand is because I'm not fucking poor enough or something, dog, I can tell you that if you're saying you get the maximum fucking Pell Grant, you have no idea, you can't fucking remember, then Candace Owens not being able to remember this perfect fucking dollar value amount and approximating an 8K for the Pell Grant seems pretty fucking reasonable to me. Now, what's the question you thought I was going to dodge of yours?
Okay, so do you think that there's a reason why it's okay to be very critical, or why we should have a high investment in Candace's background for her education, but for somebody like my background, it's not really as important?
If you're just saying, like, should we have a higher standard for Candace's background? Of course, we can have a higher standard for Candace's background than for yours, given that she's the one bringing up an argument. But coming to you forgot something, therefore you're lying, is a wild fucking logical leap. And if you think that you forgot something, therefore you were lying, then it applies to you too. Your leap absolutely was that she was lying about being poor. Don't lie about that.
Yep. My logical leap of you were lying about this particular thing wasn't just built off that one thing. It was the totality of facts make it so that her story is either impossible, she's lying about a particular thing, or it's so non-representative that she should never cite her personal experience in regards to college.
It's so non-representative. Did you do any research whatsoever into seeing how common these things are before you jumped to the conclusion they were unreasonable, like her getting 8K in the Pell Grant, her not being able to pay for? Really, you did research on this, and you came to the conclusion she could pay for most of her degree with the, not even most of it. In the moment, your claim was that she could pay for all of it.
Wait.
I know that you pivoted in your Substack post, bro. Your Substack post is called "Lying About the Past."
So you don't want to deal with like an actual intellectual argument.
So you don't want to deal with my pivot that I moved away from in the Substack article. You want to talk about the thing that I actually said with my words.
Okay, wait,
yes,
so
no shit, retard. I want to talk about the thing you actually said with your words. Here's the question, but you're not going to answer any of mine, are you?
Did I say anything?
I just asked you a question, bro.
No,
you're asking the same question again.
One-dimensional questions.
I asked you the same simple. Saying the question is one-dimensional, that's why you can't answer it. A one-dimensional question should be simple to answer, buddy. Why are you having trouble with a one-dimensional question? I've asked the same shit over and over again. You've never answered it. And it's weird we're forced to fucking loop.
What question? Hold on.
The one I just told you earlier.
20 words or less. What's the question that I haven't answered?
The one that I told you earlier.
Which was what? Didn't you ask me?
I told you 30 seconds. Are you listening to anything that I'm saying?
Didn't you say? Are you paying for the majority or all of your college with a Pell Grant? And I looked up the average tuition for colleges, and it seems like that seems to be the case right now. Yes.
Your answer is yes. It seems to be the case right now that you can pay for the majority or all of your college with a Pell Grant.
The majority or all of your tuition, yes, based on the level of poverty you have.
Oh, your tuition based on the level of poverty you have. Oh, sorry. So not just if you're poor, but if you have a sufficient level of poverty to max out the Pell Grant, and you specifically go to the cheapest colleges in state, completely unrelated to what Candace was doing. That's the argument you're giving me, really.
Why are you saying like, oh, you have to be a certain level of poverty for the Pell Grant? Yes, Pell Grant is based on need and based on cost of attendance. Is that
really
surprising?
Pell Grant is based on need? So in order to get the Pell Grant, you have to be sufficiently poor?
Yes.
You think so? Oh, that's crazy, dog. Do you think that Candace just didn't get a Pell Grant?
Well, initially she said she didn't know how to fill out the FAFSA. She said because her parents weren't there to help her.
No, she said that she actually got $8,000. She didn't know how to fill it out. She never said that. You're lying again.
Her parents didn't help her.
Oh, this is so sad. Saying that I didn't have anybody to help me do it doesn't mean that I didn't do it.
That's what the implication was.
No, it wasn't. It was not the implication. You have to be autistic to think that, because she clarified immediately afterwards that what she meant by that statement was, yes, I filled the FAFSA out. I didn't have anyone helping me, so I might have done something wrong.
She didn't clarify. She realized that she fucked up and said retarded shit. And
why
then
would
she
those be even remotely inconsistent? Saying those two things, I'll say it right now. Look, I had nobody to help me fill out the FAFSA. Do you think that means that that I didn't fill out the FAFSA?
Do you think if I ask you about the
That's another example of you not answering my question.
No. Yes. Wait, if you restate your question?
This is so sad. Are you listening to anything the other person's saying ever?
It's conversationally relevant. If I say, hey, what did you get for the FAFSA?
No shit, the question was conversationally relevant.
If I say, hey, what did you get for the FAFSA? And your response is, I didn't have any parents to help me fill it out. Well, the implication is, oh, you didn't fill it out. But if I say, hey, you didn't get that much student aid from the FAFSA, and you go, yeah, I didn't have parents to help me fill it out. Oh, well, the implication is they just didn't help me fill it out. No, the thing that you said was not, this thing you said is not, you could pay for your entire college with the FAFSA immediately. You just said the FAFSA is going to award you a ton of federal aid. Then you moved the claim to that afterwards. The FAFSA typically will get through grants and everything. You typically will get a ton of aid. By the way, subsidized loans count as aid.
What Pell Grants do you think you get from the FAFSA other than the Pell Grant?
It's not just Pell Grants. You also qualify for state and local aid as well.
With FAFSA, what grants do you get?
There's the Pell Grant, and then whatever. I'm pretty sure you fill out the FAFSA to qualify for state and local aid as well. Do you not? Isn't that part of
what kind of aid are you thinking about?
Like what? I don't know the names of every single state aid program. A ton of people email me random fucking state aid programs. But there are going to be a lot of different state aid programs that will give you.
I don't know what the fuck kind of thing you're appealing to. Like I filled out the FAFSA in Rhode Island. I was really, really poor when I filled it out. They didn't give me any kind of extra aid other than the Pell Grant, other than the subsidized student loans aid too. Yeah.
Rhode Island doesn't have any state level tuition.
Do you understand the difference between whether or not we have those grant programs and whether or not filling out the FAFSA will give you those grants? Do you see the distinction?
We can go and look it up, okay?
There's another question you haven't answered. Yes or no? Do you understand the distinction?
Retard.
You're so fucking brave, Tibbet. You might be the dumbest motherfucker I've ever had the displeasure of talking to about college. This is a 100% not having gone to college. I'm scared you just dodged my question, buddy. You've overtalked the entire discussion.
I'm literally answering your question. I can't get more than 2 words out before you fucking splurg all over the fucking chat.
Just repeat the question first before you answer, just to make sure that you remember.
Sure. It sounded like you said, do you have to fill out the FAFSA to qualify for other aids?
No, the question was, you don't even remember the question. Are you answering it? The question was, do you understand the distinction?
You're screaming at me every time I try to answer a question.
I'm screaming at you. You're the one screaming right now. So I'm telling you, right, I'm asking you, do you understand the distinction between filling out the FAFSA will give you the state grants and saying the state grants exist? Do you understand the distinction, yes or no? It's not a complicated question,
yes,
retard.
Of course there's a distinction.
Perfect. Then when you bring up one to support the other, you're not really doing that, are you?
How am I bringing? What I'm saying is that if you fill out a FAFSA and you're a student in need, not only do you qualify for Pell Grants, because your implication was a Pell Grant is the only grant you'll get from filling it out, there's also state and local grants you can qualify for as well.
By filling out the FAFSA, do you think you're getting any of those?
I don't know if you'll get them or not. It depends on your financial need and the cost of attendance at the school you go to.
Do you think if you're fucking dirt poor, say you're completely fucking emancipated, you have $0 in terms of income, and you fill out the FAFSA and you're in Rhode Island, do you think what'll happen then is you'll get a grant other than the Pell Grant?
So hard, your thing is cutting out. Repeat that. Wait, you got to re-say that.
It was me, so that's my audio.
You're so excited talking over me.
That's my audio. Look, that's a network issue, but calm down.
You just said because it cut out at 3 different points.
Yeah, I understand. You already said that on my end. You're freaking out. The audio's cutting out. I understand. I'm telling you that.
Lagging, I think.
Can you hear me now? Test? Can you hear me now? Perfect. So I'm asking you, right, in regards to the FAFSA thing, right, I want to understand, do you think right now, in Rhode Island, right, if I have $0 totally emancipated and I fill out the FAFSA, that I will get a single state grant by doing that?
If you're dirt poor?
When I filled out the FAFSA, I was dirt poor. I had zero reportable income.
My understanding is yes.
You're wrong. I filled out in Rhode Island. I can fucking show you that goddamn page. I'll screenshot it for you and send it to you privately.
Your reportable income doesn't matter. It'd be the reportable income of your parents.
No, you fucking idiot. When you're emancipated or when you're when you're separate from your parents, if you're married, you would be. If it's the case that you're above the age of fucking...
I'm sorry. If you're emancipated, correct. It would just go by your income. You had zero income and you didn't qualify for any state grants at all?
Did I qualify for state grants? You keep forgetting what we're talking about. I'm telling you the FAFSA doesn't give me any. The FAFSA doesn't do that.
Yeah, because it's just an application. Just like a job application doesn't get you a job. I don't understand what you're saying.
What do you think it's the application for?
It's for aid. What do you mean?
For aid from who?
It stands for, I think it stands for Financial Application for Federal Student Aid.
So it's federal aid, right?
No.
You're retarded. What?
You didn't fill it out because you're a fucking poser.
Do you want me to show you? I'll go to my fucking studentaid.gov. Do you think I'm a lying poser too? You're the only real poor person ever, Destiny. Look, I'll just fucking I'll give you a shot. I'll show you, buddy.
No, I don't need to see it. You're either lying or you're fucking retarded. Most
you
states
are genuinely retarded.
This is so sad. Every single most states. Okay. Most states, or every state that I've seen, if you want to qualify for any aid in state, and I think sometimes even go to university, you have to fill out your FAFSA first. Even though it's the federal application even though it's the federal application, you still have to fill out your FAFSA to qualify for state aid as well. You
retard. That's for qualifying. You brain damaged fucking monkey. That's not.
Yeah. What do you think we're talking about? That's an application for to qualify.
We're talking about that fucking aid you get from filling out the FAFSA. Oh my god, he's retarded. He has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. He hung up on me. Oh, this is so sad. All right. Genuinely the worst I think he's ever done a debate with me. And he's done okay. He's done okay. Like in the fucking transports debate, I think it was kind of a wash. The second transports debate, the panel was really bad for him. That was a fun debate. You know, we got 20 concurrent viewers. I think we're gonna... I cackled. I did too. I was cackling the entire fucking time. I know. But Bunk just ran into my room to laugh about this. That was foot off the throat, Sinthe. You're killing him.